Guys, want to give a massive shout out to CNS Remapping, who are based in Teesside, who do all of the remapping on my Caddies. So guys, go and check them out. Give them a follow on Facebook. If you need some remapping, give them a shout. Let's get into it.
So this is probably the cheapest VW Caddy that you guys are going to see on YouTube. And it's a 2010, it's a 60 plate. And I got it for a bargain.
Do you love me? Hey, is it easy to hurt me? Hey, red all night, I don't fly. Hey, bye bye.
So after seeing all the engine parts in the back, that's why this has got to be 250 quid. Here we go. Oh God. Oh golly golly gosh. And that, peeps, is how we pull an engine out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What should we put inside our £250 VW Caddy? Shall we put another BLS back in, restore it, flip it in a week? It's an option. Should we put a PD motor in, a 140, a 130? I don't know. I'd love to know some comments of what you guys think. Guys, I've done it again. So, right, let me just talk you through this, right? Let me talk you through. So, the plan with this is always going to be a quick flip. It's 250 quid. So it's always going to be a quick flip of a project. Maybe I flipped it too quick. Let me show you. So I think it deserves a little bit of an explanation. And I didn't want to do this, but I didn't want to do this. This is what I call a quick flip video series. It's a 60 plate Caddy. I got it for 200 quid and I thought if I could get an engine for it for a decent price, then I could just get it quickly flipped. So I paid £350 delivered for a BLS engine. So we're all in now at 600 quid for a BLS engine. I know it's a 1.9, I know it's a BLS, and I did say when I spoke about a BLS engine, but for the price to have this 60 plate Caddy running, I'm pretty sure I can make a decent profit. And I didn't want to be one of them guys. I mean, look at how dark it is outside. You know, I'm not going to be creating much content if I don't keep bringing these things out here. So what I thought is I just do a like for like engine swap. Now this has had an EGR delete, so it is slightly different to the one that I had previously. However, I have got the ECU down there which comes with it. So part of what I'm thinking, guys, is I'm just going to get this thing back together. That's my plan. I've got all the bolts down there, I've got the majority of what I need down there. Why don't I just get this thing back together and get it started, hopefully, in this video? And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to commit and have this one as a quick flip. So I just thought that I would do a quick swap, a quick flip almost, to show you guys this is easy to do. By easy, obviously I've had a fair bit of experience now on these engine swaps, but it is easy enough to do for the majority of people. If your engine blows up, there's obviously it's worth investigating to see if you can fix it. So guys, I'm going to put you on time lapse. I've got all the lights set up. I've got basically my own little space set up here, and let me show you what I'm going to start with. So I am going to start up with just connecting whatever I can see clutch. I'm going to get the clutch bled in this one. So the pipes there, that was from my old gearbox that is currently sat down there that someone's picking up very shortly. So again, that's going to knock 100 quid off the price of the project. Get the gear cables on, get the selectors, so the gear selectors are on there. I then need to start plugging all the plugs in. I only have one pipe. These BLS engines are pretty straightforward. I'm going to try and just give you everything while I'm doing it. Oil's already inside it. I think it does need a gasket changing on this rocker cover, which again is fairly straightforward to do once we get the van started up and running.
So the plan of action with this is just to get it back together. Now literally all I'm doing is here is the person who gave me the donor engine, a lad from Newcastle, big shout out if you're watching the video. 350 quid delivered, so I'm roughly all in at about 600 quid for this VW Caddy, which I think for a 60 plate is not a bad shout on 150,000 miles. So definitely know we're going to make a profit out of our 600 quid, and all I'm doing here is just re-putting all the pieces back together. So water bottle, the fluid for the steering, and then going to start moving on the right hand side in a minute and just trying to get all of them cables and wires back together. Now obviously I've never done a PD motor or put a PD motor back together, so slightly different these ones because they are a little bit older to the CR engines, especially with the fluid for the steering rather than having an electric steering rack. And then just the starter motor slightly different on this one in comparison to my other engine that I took out. Now I've got to remember the donor this came from is not a 60 plate, it must have been an older engine, and we'll see a little bit later on I have some problems. Just trying to manoeuvre everything out the way and just trying to get that slave out. I don't know what the state of the slave is inside the gearbox, you see, so my plan is just to take it out and put the one that I had in, because I know that it ran and dried before the engine went bang. You can see my old gearbox, my old flywheel was actually pretty good condition, so I just thought, you know what, keep the slave, try and get the slave back in. So I'm just manoeuvring it underneath the bottom of the gearbox bracket, gearbox mount, and then gonna get that pushed in. Now I couldn't get it in for some reason, I was having so much difficulty, but I had the pipe clamped, so no wonder the bloody thing wasn't going to go in, because the pipe was clamped and the pressure was there. So I just took the cap off on the left hand side just to try and make sure that I got no air inside the system. So just tighten them back up, and then that is our slave cylinder back into our gearbox. And yeah, the fluid's still there. I've lost no fluid, which is fantastic, so I only really need to bleed it slightly. Got the cables back on, as you can see there, so just got the cables, just putting the brackets on, trying to find the right screws for the brackets just to get them in. As you can see, I had a bit of difficulty because I used the wrong size screw. So putting them back in now, and that is the gear cables done. So next we're moving on to just plugging all of the engine parts in. As you can see down the bottom here, I've got the majority of the wiring here, but actually I have got a couple of plugs that are slightly different on this engine as comparison to my engine. And again, back to what I said earlier on, this came from an older engine, so probably like a 57, 58 plate rather than a 60 plate. So some of the plugs are more newer towards the CR engine, which is really interesting to see. So again, just trying to work it out, trying to understand where they go, and yeah, just trying to get everything terminated and back together from a wiring perspective. There's only about 4, 5, 6 different plugs on this. Not a lot of plugs to put a BLS engine back in, so if you're feeling, you know, a little bit negative about what you need to do for a BLS to a BLS, they're exactly the same. So next up, just working on the brake pipe at the back that connects to the N75. And then we're going to work on the N75 as well, because the guy who brought the donor again also brought the N75, so all the pipes, everything was still connected to the engine. I just needed to remove the old one and put this one back on, and that means we've got all the pipes all in sync, all lined up, nice and easy. Probably the perfect donor I could have got. And funny enough, the guy was taking the engine out on the morning that he rang me. Next up, just going to get these two bits off the fuel pipes, because I want the fuel pipes back on. I haven't got the clamps on there. I know that it is rather risky, but look, clamps are off, and we're just going to get it so we can start it.
Right guys, so we've now hit 8:15, an hour and 15 minutes in. It took me about an hour to drop the engine in to get it out the back of the lad's van yesterday and get it in. Let me show you where we're up to. It's very dark, as you can see. The lights are in the position for the engine so you can see the time lapse, but let me show you. And I think we're ready. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're ready for a start. So it's absolutely lashing it down outside. But let me show you where we're up to. So fuel lines on, albeit they are somewhat temporary because I need to get them 2 clips on. I haven't clipped this in yet, I haven't clipped this in yet, but it's all pretty much in position to get clipped in. I've just took the cap off the brake fluid there, because I'm going to put my pump on somewhere around here to bleed the clutch. Now, what have I done? What have I been doing? Connecting all of these, as you'll have seen in the time lapse. There's one plug missing, but I don't know whether. There's one plug missing, which is here. Now, this would normally go onto a starter motor on a CR. I'm pretty sure of it, but I haven't got that plug anywhere else, so I don't think that's in use on this Caddy. Got the gear cables back in, got the clutch master cylinder, or slave cylinder, sorry, back in. Haven't touched the clutch master cylinder, he's down there. I've got the N75 for all the airlines back on and back in. I just need to tighten them bolts up just to hold that back in place. As I said, gear cables all on, all of them in there. I've got the hydraulic fluid back on for the steering. I need some more fluid to top that up. These are a washer on under here. I don't know if it goes under the nut or underneath the actual fitting, so I need to find out a little bit more about that hydraulic, because it's a non-electric rack, so I need to understand a little bit more about that. Other than that, engine looks pretty clean. Haven't connected the exhaust up yet, and I've got one coolant pipe. Because I've done an EGR delete on this box, I do need to find what do I need to do? I need one hose that goes from here to the back, that goes into the cab in there. So if I'm going to start this up, it's literally going to be very quick while we just get it started. Have just noticed something else missing there, which is on this silver pipe down there, but I think that's it there, and it has just slipped off, so we'll push that back on, and that's on the back of the airline. We just get that on, there we are, perfect. So that's that on. All in all, we've got fuel. I'm going to bleed the clutch. Both sides aren't jacked up. I'm going to put the drive shafts in a minute, airbox in, and I think we're going to go for a start. In fact, you know what? I don't need a clutch. Hopefully I don't need a clutch to start. I can always put the pedal down. I don't need a clutch to start. I've got one side jacked up off the floor. Let's go for it. The moment of truth. Right, and I might need the clutch pedal down. Obviously it's going to twang to the floor. Oh no, it's got some clutch. And the only problem is, I forgot my code reader. Definitely starter motor related that. So it's the next morning, right, and last night I got quite a lot done. It was so dark, so I thought I'd bring you back and just show you where we're up to. It's going to get dark again because the light nights are out, or the light nights are upon us. So we tried to crank it last night and it would not crank, and I don't know what was wrong with it. But then I realised I spoke about the plug down here that was a gearbox plug that was on a CR engine, if you remember. on our wiring loom. Because this is a 60 plate, it's obviously going to have somewhat some different features from this van to the other vans or cars or wherever this came from. So me being me, I checked the gearbox that we had, and this is the gearbox and starter motor that came off our BLS engine. Now if you look at here on this, there's no plug on there, so literally that pointed to me that actually I needed to take the starter motor off this gearbox and get that plugged into our van. So it's all in now. I'm going to hook the battery up and I'm going to try and see if the van starts, and if it does, it's possibly one of the quickest turnarounds on an engine rebuild that I've ever done. Normally I do upgrades, but I just wanted to do a quick flip, a quick Bobby Dazzler, a quick flip done to show you guys that look, it's possible to have a Caddy or whatever for 500-600 quid, very cheap if you can rebuild it and do it yourself. If the engine breaks or blows, don't worry about it. Right, battery terminal's on, let's get this thing started if it'll go. I've got to climb into the van because this, as we say, is a garage project. Right, that's the only plug I've got left. Let's do this together. Clutch down, in neutral, and let's go for it. You ready? Get in there! I knew it was that. I knew it. I just knew it was that starter motor plug. Every time I do these CR conversions, for some reason, I could just tell when it's not even trying to start or crank. Oh, my heart is beaming. My heart is beaming. There's another one. So for all you sausages who keep saying it takes long to put episodes out, he does this, he does that, lads, if it's a like for like swap, it's a doddle. Ah, she smells a bit bongy. Right, that is a major success. So let me check under the bottom of the van. We've got no leaks, which is absolutely perfect, honestly. I am over the moon. That is a good start to our program. Right, so next thing we need to do then is get everything connected back up, but I want to get some coolant in the system, so I need to get rad pack back on, and I also took the EGR off. If you remember, I took the EGR cooler off, and I need this pipe here. So I've got all my gear with me today, so I'm going to get this pipe off, and that pipe is going to get reconnected. I'll take the battery out temporarily on the back of that little pipe there, and hopefully it'll reach over to the back, behind the back there. You can see that leftover pipe just down there, and I need to somehow get underneath, get the drive shafts in, rad pack back on, get it filled up. Let's get it up to temperature and see if it's got any leaks. The only thing I need to do and replace is the dog mount. The bolt just wouldn't come out, and if you remember, it's in the bottom of the gearbox, so it's still stuck there, so I need to get that fixed. I need 2 new wings as well. If anybody's got any wings, let me know. I need 2 white wings. There's no painting on this. I need to get the exhaust connected up as well. That's not been connected, so literally I'm just going to put myself into this right now. I'm going to put you guys in time lapse. Let's try and get this thing back together, drive shafts in, and see if we can get it rolling. That's the plan.
So next thing we're going to do is sort these fuel lines out. If you remember earlier on the video, I said I didn't have the tool to put the fuel lines or put the clips back on. Well, I got them now, so all I'm doing is putting them back on the fuel lines just to make sure they stay in situ and in place, because we don't want no fuel leaks coming out when we're starting this engine, as that is really important. Next thing we do is just taking this pipe off the EGR cooler. As I said, I need to get the pipe off. I've got to use that connects from where my EGR cooler was to the back of the van. And as you can see now, all I'm doing is trying to move everything out the way just to try and get that pipe in there for the EGR cooler, which is a bit of a tight spot, but we're working through it and we're working our magic, and we will get there. Wow, so I've pressed on there. Let me tell you, we have got, that bonnet needs sorting out, needs changing, and it's not even that latch, Johnny. Pressed on, and I mean absolutely pressed on to the max. So, rad pack and slam panel are on, pretty much in place, couple of screws down there. Everything's pretty much in place. Tightened a couple of bolts, as you can see, for the washer bottle and things. Again, not fussed. Filled up with coolant. So if you can see, just below the mint, I need to top that up ever so slightly, but the bottle is on a bit of a wonk at the minute, so I need to sort that out. Couple of bolts to put in here, there, everywhere, you name it. But the majority of this is done now, top end. I still need to do the exhaust at the back, but I'll do that from underneath. So I'll go in there underneath, get it roughly aligned, grab a second pair of hands, and then I can get that exhaust connected. Battery's disconnected for now, just while we finish things off, and then I'm just putting the drive shafts in. So because these haven't been touched in a long time, everything's just not tired, not seized, just tight, very, very tight. So the drive shafts were very, 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 very tight. So just make sure I spray them a little bit of copper grease, a little bit of grease in there, so they stay freed up. So just getting the drive shafts in there, just putting the drive shaft bolts in now. And once I've done that, I can get this wheel back on this side. I've had to chop out the drop link, and I've also had to cut off the track end. So I'm going to have to replace both of them. But that's just because they're so seized in. It's just wasting time messing around trying to get them out. Threads are all threaded as well, so there's just no point. So get these back in, drive shaft bolts. Now once I've done that, I'll get the new track end and drop link, get them put on. Which I've shown you a million times over. But I'm really happy with the progress so far on this. Exhaust needs to get connected up. That'll be the last thing I do, because I don't want the exhaust. Obviously I'm in a garage, so I don't want to get all the exhaust fumes and stuff down the side. I've tried to order 2 wings, still can't get up to 2 wings, so still struggling for the wings. But look, we are getting there, slowly getting there. So drive shaft's in. Get underneath, the engine starts and runs first time. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got an EML light on because I haven't put the ECU in from the donor car yet, but I'll do that all last. I just want to get it up here and out the garage. And ideally I can get all of that done within this episode. I'm hoping I can. I've got to get some parts. I just don't want any more delays. I want to just roll out the garage on its own thing. So next up, get this drive shaft in. Try and get the other drive shaft done, because it is very tight garage side here. So I'm going to struggle to get in with any tools or anything there. I'm going to really struggle to get in here with any tools or anything. So I'm probably going to have to push the van out, but it's the perfect time to try and crack the drive shaft off before I get under there and start doing some maintenance on it. I am going to buy a drop link. I'm going to buy a track end for that side as well. It's just easier to do that. And yeah, so close now to driving it. So close. Quickest flip I've done. If I had a ramp, this would have been done by now. So that is me wrapping up for the evening, guys. I'm waiting for parts. So I'm waiting for a drop link, tracker end, that side. And engine bay wise, I'm just about to bleed the clutch. Clutch is bled somewhat. Just going to finish off bleeding the clutch. So hopefully, and I mean hopefully. So guys, didn't want to do this, but it looks like we're going to be hitting an episode 3. But yeah, look how far we've come in the first 2 episodes. 1 we stripped it, 2 we put an engine back in, got it running, and 3 we're hopefully going to be driving. Now it's holding coolant, and I know a lot of you guys wanted me
to go for a PD motor, 140, 150, Tfsi. I know you did, but believe me, I want to get on to some bigger and better things. I want to get onto them next up. That's got to be the challenge that we do. But while I'm finishing Bonnie Blue from a DSG to a manual, the best thing for me to do is just give this thing a quick flip. What I can do to keep the content rolling is just give you a quick flip series. And look, we've paid nearly 600 quid for a 140,000 mile VW Caddy on a 60 plate, which I think is not too bad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and do me a massive favour, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I'm sorry the audio's been all over the place, this one. I'm sorry that it's been filmed in the dark as well, because it just looks crap. But look, for this series, it's how it's gonna have to be. And guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you do me a massive favour, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Let's blow this video up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.